Fellas, good morning, fellas. I am extremely angry this morning. Yes, simply because the Chief of Defense Staff, Christopher Musa, has blamed you and I, for being silent. That we are the ones covering terrorists. That our inactions is why terrorism has today become so aggravated in the Middle Belt, Benue. But again, watch this video of women in Benue crying, protesting. Then we'll continue the analysis.
These are women of Apa local government crying out their pains for the killings and rapings of their daughters, for the killings of their husbands, for the killings of their children. We in Apa local government, we are tired of these killings, and therefore we are calling on the federal government, on the state government to take proactive measure to end this insecurity at once. We deserve a better life. As citizens of Nigeria from Apa local government, we deserve a better life.
Welcome back. You see, Chief of Defense Staff, with all due respect, I needed you to just keep quiet. At this stage, we do not need anybody to come out here and emotionally blackmail us. Now, because we are now seeing Nigerian armies, some Nigerian armies that have gone AWOL, absence from work without official leave. He has gone AWOL, that Edo army that I made a video about yesterday. Now the Chief of Defense Staff is saying that Nigerian people are the ones that are not enabling, supporting, providing information for the Nigerian army. Please, I beg of you, Christopher Musa, and the Nigerian army at large. There have been reports that as of last year, precisely towards Christmas time, when these Fulani bandits went to attack Bokos, when they killed nothing less than 100 people with children, right at the back of their mother, they were shot, macheted. We saw the videos everywhere. I cannot show you because those videos are too graphical. They said they called the military, and it took the military precisely over 3 hours, and these guys operated in 2 different villages for 1 hour 30 minutes. They were asking those people that they were buying that, where is your Jesus? It sends a message. That means they knew those people were Christians, and they were there to denigrate, to make their God that they believe in look less powerful. But yet, the CDF or the CDS, listen, if we were in a country that is working, functional, sane, that has a purpose, of existence, because for me, Nigeria as it stands today, we are like running an autopilot. Should I say an autopilot? We are just like anyhowness. Whatever comes your way, you accept it and you move on. That's how Nigeria is. There are no guarantees for you as a citizens. There are no safety nets. Even when you try to be a patriot, you join the Nigerian army, when you get pied on the field of battle, there are so many reports out there that your families, your children, all get abandoned. These are not my words. These are according to the report that we've gotten from armies who have fallen into such horrendous, terrible, unspeakable, unimaginable experiences. I mean, on social media, so many people are not sharing their experiences why they ditched joining the Nigerian army since the exposition of that guy who right now today, as you can see on my screen, has been declared wanted. That Edo boy that said that is what is going on in the Nigerian army. That some generals from some particular ethnic extraction are protecting these Fulani bandits. They will tell them not to go, even when there are distress calls that some communities have been attacked. They will just be silenced. No form of order to go and strike. That these are the issues that they have everywhere. Right? But yet again, we have our CDS blaming me, who have been coming out on a daily basis to make issues, to make case with the oppressed, with the people who have lost so many people in the middle belt, telling me and those that have been just in constant state of fear in Benue that they are the one keeping quiet. What the CDS army should do is, please, Oga, we have seen enough. And the point is, you beat me once, yes, I will accept defeat. But beating twice shy, then the shame is on me. We have seen situations whereby the Benue youth, the Benue vigilantes, in fact, the middle belt vigilantes formed themselves under with the former governor of Benue, or Tom, right? We saw how some of these bandits were captured, handed over to the Nigerian armies, but a couple of days, what we hear is they are being sent to rehabilitation camps. These are people that were caught in actions. These were people whom the vigilantes, for whatever reason and whichever how they were able to do it, because they don't have access to sophisticated arms. They cannot carry AK-49 or 47. All they needed to use was their den guns. But even at that, they are still able to capture some of these bandits. And yet, when they submit them to the Nigerian armies, what we are now seeing is the Nigerian army will submit these guys, these terrorists, they take them into a rehabilitation camp. They say this is where terrorists are being rehabbed. Like they are being demilitarized, right? That their minds are being washed off of terrorism. You know, I have a word that I say that, can you domesticate a lion that has tasted blood? That is my question. So for me, if you are complaining that the middle beltern youth, that the Nigerian people are no longer engaging the Nigerian army, it is because they have seen how the Nigerian army has been handling these situations. They have been handling it unfairly. They have seen situations whereby the Nigerian army, sometimes they get information, the response time is too slow, that the people will have to resort to self-defense. And at this stage, the Nigerian people have been calling for it. In fact, a senator has also pushed for that bill, calling for, let us have what we legalize guns. Let people have right to guns. Because it shouldn't be a monopoly whereby it is some people from a certain part of the country, right? The Fulani bandits most often will have a gun that got to a point that a one-time president of this country came out and said that they needed to have such a weapon because they move around with millions worth of property. So it is funny, it is unspeakable that the CDS chairman or the CDS army man would just come out and start telling us, well, the Nigerian citizens are the one not collaborating with the Nigerian army to sort insecurity. CDS Christopher Musa, please, sir, can you allow the Nigerian citizens protect themselves? You know, the DSS chairman Ajayi has said that the Nigerian people should go into what we call citizen security. Can can he, the CDS chairman, please have us get guns so that we can protect ourselves? I can tell you that if the South at least do not have access to guns, if the Southeast are not giving access to guns, if at all any region needs to have access to guns, if this region will probably enable guns for their vigilante groups, right? Maybe they'll say, okay, we have a safety security guard or anti-terrorism forest guard, whatever the case is, but this will be only comprises of the indigenous of this region, and we are going to profile them, we are going to have their unique IDs, and we are going to give them military trainings, and afterwards we give them guns. The Nigerian army should come up with these things, just as we have in Borno, where we have what we call civilian JTF. I'm telling you, the insecurity in the Middle Belt will cut down drastically. But the question is, because they know that the Middle Belters are not ready to compromise, the Middle Belters women, as you saw at the video in the beginning of this program, how the women you know, in their numbers, took to the street. So you cannot just come out and have this fallacy, this false narrative, because this is what I call total deflection from the issues. You are just trying to blame the people who have been unfortunately getting killed on a daily, and yet the CDS, I like I said earlier that if we were in a functioning country by now, the CDS and the chief of army staff, I think they will have been relieved of their job, because you cannot be working to combat insecurity without KPIs. There's no key performance index, nothing. What we are having in the last 3 to 4 months is an heightened insecurity. More people have been killed. Now we are even having news that vigilante groups that are trying to combat and repel bandits in Zamfara axis, where we have gold being mined and all that, are even being carpet bombed by Nigerian Air Force jets and all that. And we have it that the Nigerian Air Force are claiming it was a mistake. Instead of the CDF, its Chief of Defense Staff, to say that, oh, okay, unfortunate incident that happened in Zamfara, it was a terrible mistake, and we wouldn't. But then all he needed to do was just distract us, point fingers at the people. I don't think there are anybody in the middle belt down into the south. I don't think we have any that would just say that I want to push for terrorism. The issue of the southeast is unique. It's unique. I believe the southeast insecurity today, even if the Kanu is released, that insecurity will die a natural death. Yes. Releasing Amdekanu, they have their list of demands. Let us have federal presence here. Build more federal roads. Give us access to the national waters, which is justiciable to ask and to demand. Just those two things. Like, give us roads. We have some seaport. Open it up. We have the Onne port. We have the Calabar deep seaport. Just pick one. Start fixing it. It's not going to get fixed like tomorrow. No. But the federal government should commit itself that in the next 3 4 years, we have the seaport back up running. And then the commission roads, let that, oh God, let them have that close connection. But we can't say the same for the North, because the North already have federal projects established in all the territories and states. I can categorically tell you that the North have the longest kilometers of federal roads built for them. Yes. If you take an area view of the total core North, you will see roads since the days of Obasanjo down to the days of Jonathan. In fact, Jonathan was the one that extended it. So the North cannot come out and tell us that their insecurity is because they feel marginalized. No. That's why you cannot be comparing apple and oranges, that the insecurity in the North is akin to the East. No, the insecurity in the Southeast was poured out of marginalization. They cheated, they feel cheated, and it's justiciable when you feel that there's this one-time level of social inequality that is intentionally being foisted on you, and you have every right to revolt. The North cannot. So the CDS must be very careful to understand that the Nigerian people are his employers. Yes, but again, the Nigerian people do not even know their worth. We don't know our worth. The CDS can literally get sacked today if the Nigerian people rise up, begin to protest towards the Nigerian headquarters, to the National Assembly, that he is compromised. Yes, they can actually get him sacked. If they begin to rise that the CDS is under his leadership, the Nigerian people are being killed. They roll out the statistics that in 2 years, nothing less than 8,000 people have been killed. That is terrible. That is a terrible record for a chief of army staff or a chief of defense staff, as the case might be. But again, the Nigerian people don't know their worth. We are busy with mundane issues. Unfortunately, This is why the politicians and everybody that is related to politics or to the seat of power will always have that sway, because the Nigerian people do not have a purpose. There's no ideology behind the name Nigeria. There's no purpose for living. You don't have that sense of ownership. And this is why you see when people like the Biafrans, sometimes I admire their courage because they have that sense of belonging. When I look at those that are fighting for the Islamization of the North, the Bokos, the bandits, they have an ideology. The ideology of the Fulani bandits or the banditry that is going on there is not just for money. It is for the total Islamization of the North. It's just they want to take over that place and Islamize it. They want to put it under the Sharia law of, like we have in the ISIS, like we have in the Syria. So that is their purpose. When you see the bandits when they are being captured, you don't see fear in their eyes. You don't see fear in their eyes. Period. So the Nigeria as an entity, if after 60-something years cannot have an idea which people will be ready to die for, a common citizen, right? If they are not ready to die for that idea, then I think it's about time we just put this country into a water and dissolve it. Simple. Let us simply take that bold step. Like this country, people are not ready to die for it. People are not ready to worship this country. People are not ready to protect its values because it has none. Can we take ourselves as a common South with the Middle Belt, agree, have a consensus, put this nation into a water and have it dissolved? Period. Because for me, tomorrow the Nigerian army will come out and blame the Nigerian people when we have, as a collective, yielded our sovereignty to the Nigerian government. It is absurd. It's just high level of absurdity. We are just Danny. Please kindly like, subscribe, and share. Bye for now.
We said no, there should be an end to this killing. Hey, be careful, why are you laughing?